Fall is officially upon us.
It is not officially,
It
Marietta,
is in my
but
life.
it is September, so we're gonna claim it
In the name of fall,
in the
deciduous
name of
leaves.
autumnal. Fall is here.
I'm excited, and like I think everyone's excited because summer is just such a fucking drag. It's exciting only for a little bit, and then it's over.
Summer's nice because, at least up here, it's nice to wear shorts and flip-flops and things like that. But after about, I don't know, 45 minutes of that, it gets pretty boring. And I'm gonna be honest too, men's fashion sucks in hot weather. It's like, oh, here's my other t-shirt and other color pair of shorts. Here's my other t-shirt. I fucking hate that. So I am ready for hoodies and
Winter vest.
sweaters. No, a sweater vest is a summer attire because there's no sleeves on it. Okay. We got to warm up here now. So,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I know I've
Okay.
mentioned this before, but it's gonna start getting cooler this week. I don't know if it's a mirage fall temperature and it'll like bust back up really hot again before fall comes in, but you could tell like fall's kind of fighting to come in and summer's like, okay,
I'll
I'll
go
let you do
now.
that.
Well, I love that. And in the spirit of fall, you have made a green bean recipe, which I didn't try, but I can co-sign because I'm very familiar with these flavors.
This was really good. So I was looking for something simple. I wanted to make a whole meal.
Hmm.
I was having some friends over and it was, like you get like that nice little cozy feeling that you're gonna have like a bunch of people over at the table, and I wanted to make a full meal. But I wanted to make a really good vegetable. And vegetables are good for you.
I know. And I feel like the fall loves vegetables.
There's some wonderful vegetables in the fall. The flavors are a little bit heartier.
Hmm.
Now this vegetable is a green bean, and I don't necessarily think that's a fall vegetable, but the flavor was very fall because we're kind of like saying, "Hey, summer, we know you're here, but get the fuck out."
Hmm.
It's kind of what it was. This is really easy,
Okay.
and just know this recipe was made for quite a bit of people, so it can be scaled down like tremendously. So I took 5 cans of green beans. Now I'm not normally a canned vegetable person, but the reason why I felt canned was okay because if you use frozen, you're gonna have to make sure that your green beans are fully defrosted. You're gonna put them in the microwave anyways. If you use fresh green beans, you're gonna have to blanch them a bit because the thing is, you actually want them to be a little soft, not too soft, but you want them to be a little soft. So I said, "Fuck it, it's a rent paycheck, so we're just gonna only pay for can."
65 cent.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rent paycheck. So I went ahead, took 5 cans of green beans, drained them,
But
and
wait,
yeah,
I know
tell me.
I'm always stopping you because I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, you're
So
that student. Go ahead.
when when I think about canned green beans, I always buy French cut, which I'm pretty sure you're not meaning. So what kind of bean?
Just the regular beans. I don't like French cut actually.
So they're like little, right? In cans, they cut them down.
These cans actually I got them at Lidl and they were not little.
Really?
They were not little. They were like not as big as like a fresh
Fresh.
green bean or like a frozen green bean, but you can get cut green beans, but these were actually whole green beans in the can.
Cool. Okay. Sorry. Go
So
ahead.
yeah, so it was kind of a little surprise. But you can get cut green beans. I don't like the French cut green beans. I don't know why I don't like it. I just
Love.
really, well, it's funny. I actually don't like green beans really.
Me neither.
I tried different recipes to like them. They're really good
Mhm.
for you. This recipe again is not too good for you, but they're really good for you. So, and I figure like, what the fuck? I love Brussels sprouts. Why can't I like a green bean? So
They don't taste like anything. And you know why? It's because of that fucking casserole that we will not
the
name.
fucking that we're not gonna make because you grew up in the 80s and 90s nonstop, like the fucking decades of
Mushroom
casseroles. Fuck that shit.
fucking
I'm done with
soup.
these people.
Anyway, move on.
All right. 5 cans of green beans, drain them. Put them all in a 13 by 9 baking sheet, baking dish. Set your oven to 350 degrees. Go ahead and melt quarter cup of butter, quarter cup to a half a cup of butter, whatever you want to do with that. Pour the melted butter over the green beans. Pour 2/3 a cup of packed brown sugar over the green beans. 7 teaspoons of soy sauce. I cannot use soy sauce, so I just have to use low sodium tamari, which is perfectly fine. If you want to use coconut aminos, that might be okay. I'm not a big coconut amino fan, but that might be okay. And then basically go ahead and put a bunch of garlic powder. So the recipe originally called for a teaspoon of garlic powder, but we're not putting a teaspoon.
We
So
season our food at Food I Fake You.
yes, seriously. So I put a good amount of garlic powder. I'm sorry, onion powder. It calls for onion powder.
Mm.
So I put a good amount of onion powder there, and I also did put garlic powder in there, and I put some black pepper in there
Okay.
because those are gonna be sweet. All right. So while that's sitting there and all the ingredients are getting acquainted, go ahead and fry up some bacon. And it
Mm.
says 12 slices. I did a whole pound. I did a pack. Because I'm not going to count 12 slices. Okay, get it all nice and crispy. You can do this bacon before you even assemble the green beans. It's your green beans, whatever you want to do.
Wait a minute.
And pour the
Question,
bacon. Man, yeah, ma'am, go ahead.
teacher. Okay, so do you mix the sauce separately and then put it on top of
I
the
toss it
beans?
on top of the green beans, just mix it all together.
Fuck it. All
Yep,
right.
do not want to waste another dish.
I like it.
Get the bacon crispy, and then go ahead, put it on top of the green beans, mix everything together. Do not put the bacon grease on it, though.
That was my question
No,
next.
I was tempted to do it. Don't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead, mix it all together, bake it in the oven for 40 minutes.
Huh.
That shit's fucking delicious.
Uncovered.
Uncovered. 40 minutes.
Okay. Are these green beans in a single layer? Does it matter?
Does not matter.
What happens to the green beans? Do they get charred?
So the green beans at the top get a little, they don't really get charred at all, actually. They get a little firm, but then you go ahead and mix it because you are going to have like a sauce that's going to form at the bottom
Mm-hmm.
because the green beans have liquid in it, of course, but the soy sauce and the sugar is going to melt. So you
Mm.
are going to have a little bit of sauce at the bottom.
I love this.
It's really good.
This could possibly redeem green beans for Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. That's exactly what, when I was making this, I was like, oh my God, this is a Thanksgiving side dish. It's simple.
Right.
And it's like a no-brainer. It's something you could put together when everything else is cooking on Thanksgiving. You could put this together. You can probably, minus the bacon, you could probably just let it sit overnight and then put it in the oven the next day.
It would be
Minus the
better.
bacon. It would be probably better, yeah.
You know what I'm
And
thinking too? You're gonna have bacon grease. You could even use that bacon grease for like a vinaigrette for Brussels sprouts. So you could use everything
yes, you can.
on Thanksgiving, obviously. You're not
Yes,
just, yeah.
exactly. I, of course, use that bacon grease. But,
What'd you do with it?
well, because I had also made fried chicken.
Uh-huh.
So it like probably didn't add any flavor. Well, because I don't deep fry chicken, I pan it.
Uh-huh.
And I used the bacon grease, and then of course I had to add some oil later.
You made like bone-in chicken or just
No,
breasts?
boneless.
Like a
Yeah.
cutlet
Like a cutlet. Hmm.
with bacon grease.
Absolutely.
You're a
Yeah.
fucking champion. This is why we're friends.
Yeah. Oh, you're not going to throw bacon grease away.
Right. I wouldn't
That's
either.
like
I would
fucking
shove that
gold.
shit in something. Absolutely.
Seriously. So, and I did a whole fucking pocket of bacon. So there's quite a bit of bacon grease.
You could have saved it too. You know, you can freeze it. I do that.
I can say that, but there's really like, like in my head, I'm like, what am I going to do with it? Because frying is such a rare thing in my home.
Heater.
So I'm like, I don't know, like, and I don't like it would go good in like biscuits or things like that, but I don't bake enough like breads and stuff like that to do that with.
Next time you save it and you freeze it, and it will be there for you when you do need it, and then you'll be so happy because bacon grease is a thing that you don't make often.
No, yeah, because I don't make bacon here at all. So
Okay. I'm really liking this, and only because, you know, my kids really love Asian food, and I make it quite often, and it's different iterations of the same shit. I feel like Asian food, like for me at home, is a lot like Mexican food or Italian food. It's the same 5-6 ingredients that you just reimagine, which is why I think it's so popular,
right.
particularly here in America, because I think we like ease, and also we like to be adventurous or ish with what we consume at home.
Right.
So anytime you put together garlic and soy sauce and brown sugar, it's a fucking win. And then if you want to add to it ginger and sesame oil, it's like
Absolutely.
variables, right? That you can add.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
but those
I
three are
want
fucking friends.
I want to add something to that really quick.
Tell me.
When you do sesame oil, I've learned two things about sesame oil. One, I've learned a little goes a very long way.
True.
A very long way. And two, if you're going to cook something as long as 40 minutes, because honestly, the sesame oil would have gone really good on these beans too. If you're going to cook something for 40 minutes, put the sesame oil when the beans are done. Don't let it cook with the beans because that sesame oil will burn.
Like a seasoning.
Exactly. Do it like a seasoning. These beans could have probably used me because I did use powdered garlic because it was going in there for 40 minutes. So I did use powdered garlic, but if you have like garlic in a jar or something like that, you want to throw some in there. Even if you have fresh garlic, chop it up. You want to throw some in there, probably would have been very good with it as well. But like I said, the only thing about this recipe is season a lot more than a tablespoon of garlic powder.
Agreed. Always.
Yeah.
And I think also, what could go in there? Maggie could go in there if you have it from our
Yeah.
previous episode.
If you want to use Maggie, probably instead of soy sauce.
You could do both. But Maggie, you have to be very judicious, like maybe a drop or two, and it makes a
Yeah.
difference. Otherwise, it tastes fucking weird.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what else I would put in there? Like a little zhuzh of chicken bouillon. I would do
I
that.
was going to do that instead of the soy sauce, but I ran out.
Mm.
So I had soy sauce though. And the only reason I had mentioned coconut aminos, I am not a coconut amino person. I am someone that has to be careful with my salt intake. And
It's sweet.
like it's too sweet for me. But it could go good with this if you want. You know what coconut aminos would be really good with if you're gonna like marinate like a thin steak or something like that. That might be really good with a coconut amino. But I just figured I know a lot of people want to use coconut aminos and they can. Just remember it's a lot of brown sugar.
I think people use the aminos because it's like gluten free or something.
It's low in salt.
But isn't it gluten free?
I'm sure maybe. I have no idea. I don't use it. Like I said, I bought coconut aminos once and I was very disappointed by it.
Yes. Coconut aminos is gluten free. I think that's why people like it so much because gluten is the devil.
Yeah, for some people.
I love gluten. I made sandwich bread the other day. I used a Sally Bakes recipe.
Mm-hmm.
I've made a lot of bread, but I've never made sandwich bread. And it was fucking delicious. Whatever they put in bread commercially fucking kills it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, like the kids were like, "Oh my God, Mom, wow, what is this?" I'm like, "This is what bread should taste like."
You're right, it's bread.
But
That's what it
anyway,
is.
yes. So if you have any vegetable, you can put this sauce on it. If you have any protein, you could put this sauce on it. Even if you're like one of these people who doesn't eat meat for whatever reason, you can always have tofu or tempeh or whatever meat substitute you like to use.
You know what I thought this would go really good with this recipe? Uh, Brussels sprouts, of course, because I do a very similar Brussels sprout thing just on the pan. Carrots would
Oh,
go really
yes.
good with this recipe. This would be a fantastic carrot recipe. Like, I would definitely do that. With the carrots, I'd even throw in some like onion pieces, like to make like some roasted onions with it too. That would go really nice with it. But yeah, the next time I do this, it's gonna be a carrot thing.
Yes. I have actually this carrot hack that I've been doing for dinner. Like I want to make a vegetable, but I don't necessarily want to cook forever. I'll buy the
Mhm.
ones that come, the baby carrots that come
Mhm.
in a sack that you can just steam in the microwave.
Yeah.
I'll steam them and then in a pan, I'll put some brown sugar and a little bit of honey just to give it that elasticity and a
Hmm.
little bit of salt and I'll saute them in there until they start getting a little bit dark and brown. And it's just like you cook them all like in that syrup versus steaming and
Yeah,
then coating.
absolutely.
And it takes all of maybe 10 minutes and it is a fantastic side.
And if anybody's wondering if you want to do this in your air fryer, go right ahead and do this in your
I
air
was
fryer.
going to ask you that because I
Probably gonna
think
be 1,000. It's probably gonna be better actually in the air fryer.
better because green
Yeah.
beans taste better in an air fryer. They get
Yeah, it's
crispy.
probably gonna taste better in the air fryer. So if I would say the next time I do this, I would definitely do it in an air fryer, but try it in your air fryer.
Mm. Okay, I'm hungry for this and it's getting me excited for Thanksgiving. Like the first thing I thought was Thanksgiving when you told me
Yeah,
this.
me too. Well, especially with these flavors, because that brown sugar flavor and that bacon flavor, everything with Thanksgiving is a little bit over the top.
Girl.
And so, especially with that. And, can I just say the best thing on earth, the best thing on the planet? One of my friends over for dinner that night, and he was so funny because he was quite vocal about how he doesn't eat green beans. That's the vegetable he does not eat. I'm like, okay, well, that's a you problem. So, and it was just really fun to see. So, of course, he puts them on his plate. He's like, I'm going to try it. And, throughout the evening, we're in my home and we're just chatting and just friends are talking and stuff like that. And I swear to God, I looked over and he was putting a second helping on his plate. And that's like the
Like I
coolest
told
thing.
you, bitch.
Right. That's like the neatest feeling on earth when someone says they don't like an item, but you cook it in a way. So if your friends, family, or children do not like a green bean, you could change your mind with
They're going to
this.
like this for
Yeah.
sure. And I like that you use canned beans, Keter. This is the most approachable recipe I feel
Mhm. Yep.
that we've even talked about in a long time.
I think we need to be realistic here. Sometimes you buy fresh produce, and sometimes it's a rent paycheck, and you buy canned. produce. And I think we need to be real about that because I
Green
think
beans suck fresh. I don't know. They're
you know, it's funny,
hard.
I actually don't like fresh green beans.
Me neither.
That's not my thing. It's one of those vegetables that I'm actually okay that it came from a can.
They're
Green beans and
woodsy
corn. Green beans, corn, and beans are the only ones, like black beans or stuff like that, are the only ones that I'm okay with
in a can.
coming from it. But yeah,
Fucking do
so
it.
we're not here to be internet famous and pretend like we're multimillionaires, okay? Green beans were 69 cents, like I said, a can. So that's what it was.
I like it. So I bet you fed, I don't know how many, sounds like you had a fucking Studio 54 night over there.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you want to say that, just a bunch of, a bunch of old gay men hanging out, just chatting,
Elder
eating,
millennials.
and elder millennials just chatting and eating and talking about work. And so, if that's what you want to call it.
Sounds like a regular hootenanny, but I feel like you've had
You would
those
have been
people.
fucking ecstatic. You would have been like in the middle with your eyes wide open.
Oh my God, I'm
I'm
waiting for my
here.
invite. I never get one.
I'm
When I go, you're
here.
boring.
Well, I mean, if you moved up here, you could come to these parties.
Oh
Not
my
all
God.
parties, but the majority of the parties you can come to.
I think I'm okay with that. I'm barred from some parties. I'm okay with that part.
All women are barred from some parties, but you know what? But the ones that you're not, you are welcome.
Fun. I'm into it. I
And
have an outfit.
I love that feeling when you're cooking and friends are there and everybody's having a good time. And that's like with your family too. When your family's there and everybody's having a good time enjoying themselves. So it was a really good night.
All right, guys, this is going to help you get into the festivities. Eric fed a gaggle of elder millennial homosexual men for like probably $50.
It would have been better if you just had a gaggle of gays. That's even better.
I don't know. I like
It's
to
okay,
be
guys. We can say
specific.
it. Yeah.
What do you
I'm
call a
not
gaggle of
that
gays? We have to
so
come up with a name for it. Like, like a school of fish, a
gaggle
murder of, I don't know what's a
gays.
murder. I forgot. Geese or something.
Gaggle of gays.
All right, anyway.
It's fun. But yes, fed a bunch of people. I even have some leftovers and
Amen. Hallelujah.
yes. So enjoy this. And this is I feel like our first recipe heading into fall flavored,
The fall times.
which I'm so fucking excited for.
Okay, you guys. So put this recipe in your back pocket for Thanksgiving. In the meantime, give it a shot for like a Sunday dinner where you can have an easy, flexible side that you can serve alongside whatever meat you're roasting, which I suggest Sundays are for roasts, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And give it a shot. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, and you want to give this treatment to other vegetables that maybe you're like lukewarm about.
I agree.
All right, you guys. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on your Apple Podcast player. Share us with your friends. We like to be passed around, especially one of us.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric. And we love you, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Bye-bye.